The stories we love best do live in us forever, so whether you come back by page or by the big screen, Hogwarts will always be there to welcome you home.
Stories. We all spend our lives telling them. About this, about that, about people. But some stories are so good, we wish they'd never end. They are so gripping that we'd go without sleep just to see a little bit more. Some stories bring us laughter and sometimes bring us tears. But isn't that what a great story does? Make you feel? The stories that are so powerful that they really are with us forever. The millennial generation grew up in a frenzy of book releases, midnight movie premieres, ABC Family Marathon weekends, and the ability to strike up a conversation with anyone, no matter the age, by simply stating the magic words, Harry Potter. We obsessed, argued, cried, and cheered as Harry, Ron, and Hermione grew up alongside us. We came to think of them as not just fictional storybook characters, but as friends. These books are the stories of our generation that will be passed on to our children, and the scope of their popularity is unique to the time our generation is living in. You cannot define my generation without considering this wonderful series by J.K. Rowling. 7 books and 8 movies later, the Harry Potter brand is valued at over $15 billion, making Rowling the first billionaire author, and it's still going strong. Many argue that the majority of its success comes from its devoted online communities, some of which include Enchanted Hogwarts, Potter's World, Hogwarts Extreme, and Pottermore. In July 1999, the first 2 fan sites were created called MuggleNet.com and TheLeakyCauldron.org. MuggleNet.com is the only original fan site that still exists today. It was started by young fans as a way to share information about the books and later the movies. From Potter weddings to audio fiction, this website is pretty standard for what most of these fandom communities look like. 2 months later, the very first Harry Potter Fanfiction.net story was published. Remember, it wasn't until 2 years later that the first movie was released, so it's clear that the books have a very loyal following. Fans were looking for outlets to discuss anything Harry Potter related, and the internet became the answer, more specifically Fanfiction.net. This is the homepage for Fanfiction.net, which is the largest forum for people to come write and read fanfiction. This was a nonprofit website that was established in 1998, allowing any individual to upload content for any fandom, including movies, books, comics, television shows, etc. The Harry Potter fandom has the largest archive with over 700,000 fanfiction stories written. The next closest is Twilight with 218,000. While some may argue that it lacks a modern-day appearance, this website has spawned a new sense of community for Harry Potter fans, without the barriers of time and place. There are over 8,000 active Harry Potter communities on the website. The purpose of these communities is to place certain stories under specific themes or character pairings. The biggest community archive is titled Potions and Snitches, which is dedicated to stories about Harry Potter and Professor Snape. For example, at the end of the series, some wish that Snape would have been revealed as the true father of Harry. While this may seem crazy, this is just an example of how creative people get with their story ideas. Another important element of Harry Potter fanfiction, like most other fandoms, is the element of a ship. The ship is a shortened term referring to a particular character pairing that has a romantic relationship. For example, in the Harry Potter fandom, many users write stories about the relationship of Draco and Hermione, and others expand on the relationship of Harry and Ginny. The best way to find stories with specific pairings, such as the ones that I just mentioned, is by using the filters. You'd be surprised to learn about some of the craziest pairings people write about. With a series like Harry Potter, there's an endless amount of characters to choose from. The fanfiction community has been a driving factor to the success of Harry Potter. People who are involved within Harry Potter fanfiction have always been optimistic that Rowling would come out with more material. As of April 2015, Harry Potter has over 71 million followers on Facebook and over 1.68 million followers on Twitter. The scope of this popularity would not have been possible with the advent of online platforms. Many question how long this fandom will last. It's been 18 years since the first book was published. With fans like those who are involved in the fan fiction community, this story will continue to last for a long time. Harry Potter's profound effect on the millennial generation stems from the devotion of the fan fiction readers and writers, and it's one that will continue on for generations to come.